Okay, well, welcome again, and we're going to continue our tour here at number 5 station, which is located here in Adelaide Street and Main Street in the city's north end. This station houses a engine company and a ladder company. And as I'd mentioned earlier in the tour, this station also responds to calls in the uptown area, i.e. Engine 5 here responds to first alarm calls in the city's uptown district, anything west of the Charlotte Street. And as you can see here today, I've got a couple of helpers that are helping me give this tour and doing an outstanding job with me. Hi. Over here we have Ladder 5. And as I mentioned earlier, we have 2 ladder trucks in the city that are staffed at all times and that. And this is one of those units. It has a 100-foot aerial boom. It has a complement of 2 firefighters on the tail, a driver operator, and a company officer. And this is part of the standardized response to any structure fire in the city itself and that. Over here we have Engine 5. Again, you're talking about a 4-person crew on this unit here. This station, in addition to providing fire protection to the north end, also responds to the Milledgeville area. It responds to first alarms to the city's West St. John. And it also serves as the offices for the district chief in District 2 of the city. Again, I mentioned that we have a 2-district concept here in the city, and we have a district fire chief who works out of this facility as well. It's worth noting that this station is 4 years old. This was one of the 2 new stations that were opened 4 years ago. Again, the council today saw fit that recognized the need for the fire department to replace a couple of their rather antiquated stations. And we're very pleased and we're delighted to be able to have such a great facility to work out of here in the city's north end. And I was saying earlier again that this building also serves as the district office for one of our 2 on-duty district fire chiefs. And if you'd like to accompany me, we can just walk through the station and have a look at the station. And although this is a newer station, we've tried to, try to bring some of the character that we've had in some of our other stations to this building. And by doing so, we've added a few personal touches that the personnel on duty here at number 5 station have provided. And you'll see some shots of some of the fires that were fought here in the city's north end and where the fire crews had responded. And certainly for the citizens who visit with the station, they get a sense as to just a reminder, I guess, of some of the real major fires that we've had in this area and how our department has played a pretty integral role in providing fire protection to this area of the city. This is the district chief's office in District 2 in our department. And the district chief in District 2 is responsible for fire ground operations with respect to stations 5, 6, 7, and 8. And again, as the city's divided into 2 districts, and he's responsible for this end of the city itself here. And some of the more personable touches that they have, and you'll see that a great deal of effort and time's gone into some of the additional artwork and some of the memorabilia that's been brought into the fire station. And the crew here take a tremendous amount of pride in their station, as do all of our fire service personnel. And this just typifies the pride that the members of the department have in their station and in the department in itself. And what you see here is very typical of the interest that our members have of the department and of their facilities and so forth. And this picture here in itself says it all, and it shows a shot back in 1994 when we had a working fire on Adelaide Street. And we have had a good relationship with the community here, and this is just kind of is a moment in time when it captures that type of relationship that we've enjoyed with the citizens of our community. We're going to conclude our tour of the facilities of the St. John Fire Department here at number 8 Fire Station on Milledge Avenue. Throughout the tour today, I've alluded to the fact that our department provides various services outside of that of the traditional role of fire suppression. And this station here, I guess, is a pretty good example of some of the varied services that we do provide. This building, or this station, I should say, has a complement of 5 personnel on duty at all times, with 4 personnel on the engine company, and we also have a tanker unit here that responds because part of the Milledgeville area does not have hydrants, and there's a real need to ensure that we bring our own source of extinguishing with us when we respond to the emergencies in this area. This facility also serves as the training, as the facilities for our training division. There's a building at the rear of the station that houses administrative offices and classrooms for our training division. We also have a number of technicians on duty who work on our breathing apparatus to ensure that it's being performing preventative maintenance on those units, as well as ensuring that it meets all the standards as laid out with the Occupational Health and Safety Acts. If you'd like to take a minute now, we'll take a walk in the station and have a look at some of the specialized equipment that is housed here.
Right now, look at him. There he is. He's taking your picture.
First, early up here. Get him interviewed for the NBODRA.
He's taking your picture. What do you think of that?
Again, as we proceed through this station here, as I mentioned earlier with the engine companies, it's a 4-member crew that responds with this unit. Because we're located in an area outside of the hydrant, some of the response area here is located outside of the hydrant area. It dictates that both the engine company and the tanker unit carry large volumes of water in order to provide that extinguishant that I had alluded to with respect to fire suppression activities. We have a rather small, unassuming piece of equipment back here that I'll just take a moment to speak of. This is what we refer to as a rescue sled or an ice sled, and what we use this piece of equipment for is for when we respond to water rescue during when we have ice on the river and that. I'm sure that many of the citizens in our city can recall a time when we had ice fishermen trapped on ice floes in the Kennebecasis River, and we were successful in rescuing them, but at that time we didn't have any specialized equipment for performing that rescue. Shortly thereafter, we were able to purchase this piece of equipment, and now I'm pleased to say that it has made rescue on the ice floes much safer for our personnel, and it's much more efficient with respect to providing I guess a quicker response to individuals who are in need of rescuing. We also have 2 boats that are housed at this station, and I'll just take a moment to speak of them. And in approximately 2 weeks, our department is going to be receiving its new water rescue unit, and as such, that's going to really enhance our marine rescue capabilities. In the meantime, however, we still have a couple of units in service. The smaller unit here, the small Zodiac, is ideal for small, if we have to perform any rescues in some of the smaller lakes in the St. John area. And although it's not very large, it certainly suits the bill in those lakes and waterways that are hard to access and where maybe the roadway doesn't lend itself to launching a boat. And also at this time, we still have a secondary craft that we use for launching in the area above the falls. In approximately 2 weeks, as I've indicated, we're going to have a new marine rescue unit. It's a Boston Whaler with twin 115 horsepower motors, and it will certainly make for much more a rapid response for individuals who find themselves in need of rescuing on the waterways in and surrounding the city of St. John. Again, as I mentioned, this also serves as our training facility, and we'll take a walk outside and I'll show you our training tower. Part of the training division is also comprised of a training tower that you see here in the background, and this building to the naked eye just seems like a standardized brick tower, but in actual fact it also is equipped with a specialized sprinkler system and fire department hookups, so that we're able to simulate connecting into standpipe systems and sprinkler systems. And It also serves as a great training aid with respect to working off of our aerial devices, working off of ground ladders, and having some of our members rappelling from the upper floors of this unit. It has served its purpose quite well, and certainly has been a great way in which to try to adequately reenact fire ground situations. Another training prop that we have here at our facility is a tanker car unit, or tanker truck unit, I should say, that you also see here in the background that we use for our training division. With this unit, we're able to simulate hazardous materials response needs. This can manifest itself in ways in which we perhaps have a spill or a puncture to the unit in which we have to contain the spill. Certainly it has been very advantageous for us to have this on site with our hazardous materials response training, and we've certainly found it to be quite useful. In conclusion, I guess, in closing out our tour today, it's my hope that maybe through this very brief tour of our facilities that you become a little more familiar with the stations located in your neighborhood. You have maybe a better understanding of the types of equipment that we house in those stations. I've alluded to some of the various services that we provide that exist outside of the traditional fire suppression role. And certainly we would like to think that the first time that we meet our neighbors in our community will not be at a fire emergency scene or an emergency scene of any type, that perhaps it's having an opportunity to speak with them on safety matters and so forth here at the fire station, or perhaps in community groups. So we'd like you to remember that we are available to serve you. We are more than willing and able to participate in some of your community events, whether it's to visit with you at your community center, to give you presentations, and to provide some ongoing public education programs. And certainly I'd like to thank you for joining with us today on our open house, and invite you to visit the fire station in your community at your leisure. On behalf of Chief Tate and all the officers and members of the St. John Fire Department, I'd like to thank you for joining us today, and we hope to see you again soon.